The throne room of the Jur Empire was a place where hope went to die. Massive obsidian pillars rose into the darkness, their surfaces etched with scenes of conquest. Alien legions crushing rebellions, enslaved worlds kneeling under the Emperor's rule. 1,000 glowing eyes watched in silence as a condemned human was dragged before the throne. His name was Captain Marcus Vane, a soldier of the Terran Resistance. His armor was shattered, his hands bound, his face smeared with blood. Yet his eyes burned with defiance that unsettled even the hardened Jur guards. On the obsidian throne reclined Emperor Verkal, draped in living silks that writhed like snakes. His voice was smooth, venomous, carrying across the chamber like a blade pressed against flesh. "Human," the Emperor sneered, his mandibles twitching. "Your people dared resist my empire. For that, I should make your death slow, your flesh displayed on my banners. But instead, I will give you a gift. You will die quickly, and your people will remember you as nothing more than a failed warrior." The court hissed in approval. Death was mercy under Jur. Marcus lifted his head, spitting blood onto the pristine floor. "You should have killed me on the battlefield, alien. Here, in your den of monsters, I'll make you regret leaving me alive." The guards laughed, shoving him to his knees. The Emperor raised a clawed hand, the executioner stepping forward with plasma blades humming. But in that instant, fate shifted. The betrayal. Unknown to the Emperor, Marcus had not come alone. During the desperate final battle, he had been captured deliberately, allowing the rest of his strike team to vanish into the underworld of Jur's capital. Smuggled weapons, stolen codes, and an ally within the Emperor's court had laid the groundwork for something no human had ever dared attempt: regicide. As the executioner raised his blade, the massive doors of the throne room detonated inward. Fire and smoke roared, scattering alien nobles. Figures clad in scavenged armor stormed in Marcus's strike team. Blasters tore through guards. Grenades rattled against marble floors. The chamber descended into chaos. Marcus surged to his feet, snapping the chains on his wrists with sheer desperation. He caught the falling plasma blade and drove it to the chest of the nearest guard, twisting until the alien fell screaming. The Emperor rose, furious, his voice booming like thunder. "Kill them all. Leave no flesh unburned." But the human rebels fought with the madness of cornered wolves. Marcus carved his way up the steps toward the throne itself. Every strike fueled by the memory of the billions enslaved under your rule. Duel with the Emperor. At last, Marcus reached the dais. The Emperor towered over him, nearly 3 meters tall, armored in living carapace. With emotion, he conjured a blade of pure plasma from his gauntlet. "You dare raise steel against the sovereign of 1,000 worlds." Verkal roared. Marcus said nothing. His jaw was set, his blade steady. The duel was brutal. The Emperor's strikes came like lightning, shattering stone, sending sparks raining across the hall. Marcus parried, each blow numbing his arms, his muscles screaming. The Emperor was stronger, faster, a creature bred for conquest. But Marcus had something the Emperor did not: the desperation of a man who had nothing left to lose. The Emperor laughed, slashing across Marcus's chest, sending blood spraying. "You are flesh, weak, breakable. Your kind should crawl." Marcus staggered, but instead of retreating, he pressed forward. His blade slashed across the Emperor's face, carving through one of his glowing eyes. The alien bellowed, enraged. "Then remember this." Marcus spat, his voice hoarse. "Humans don't crawl. We climb." With a roar, he plunged his plasma blade deep into the Emperor's chest, twisting until the creature's black blood gushed over the steps of the throne. The chamber went silent. The Emperor choked, his mandibles trembling, before collapsing backward onto his own throne. The crown of the dead. The Emperor's crown, a jagged circle of obsidian laced with living crystals, tumbled to the floor. It was said that whoever wore controlled the loyalty of the Jur legions, bound by ancient genetic oath. The surviving guard stared in horror as Marcus bent down, bloodied and gasping, and picked up the crown. For a moment, it pulsed in his hands, rejecting the touch of alien DNA. But Marcus, bleeding from a dozen wounds, pressed it onto his head anyway. The chamber shook. The crown's crystals flared with an otherworldly glow. To everyone's shock, The crown accepted him. His veins lit with fire, his vision expanded, and he felt the weight of command. The ancient oath binding every Jur soldier in the galaxy now tethered to him. He turned, standing tall before the throne, the Emperor's lifeless body at his feet. "Your Emperor ordered my death," Marcus growled, his voice amplified through the crown, echoing like thunder. "Now I order your freedom." The guards hesitated, trembling. Their genetic code screamed loyalty to the wearer of the crown. Against their will, they fell to one knee. The court, once sneering, bowed. A human now sat upon the throne of the Jur Empire. The shocking aftermath. News spread like wildfire. Across the Empire's 1,000 worlds, broadcasts showed the impossible image. A battered human warrior crowned Emperor Jur. Slave camps erupted in riots. Chains were shattered, overseers cut down. Some alien generals tried to resist, but their soldiers turned against them, compelled by ancient loyalty to the crown. Within weeks, Marcus's name became legend. The man once sentenced to death now commanded fleets, armies, and entire star systems. But power was no gift. It was a curse. For every freed slave, there were warlords plotting rebellion. For every ally, a betrayer waited in shadows. The throne itself whispered, ancient voices of conquest urging him to continue the cycle of domination. Marcus stared into the abyss of power, knowing one truth. If he failed, if he faltered even for a heartbeat, the galaxy would drown in blood again. He had not sought a crown. He had sought freedom. But now, with the weight of an empire on his shoulders, he understood the bitter irony. To free the galaxy, he would have to rule it. And so, the man condemned to die by an alien emperor now sat where no human ever had, blood dripping from his hands, the stars trembling at his command. The galaxy whispered his new name,